of this not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Tuesday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you. We have a good show for you today. Cami Rome from Salem will be here any minute. SWATzilla. Excited to talk to her. We're also going to, of course, recap last night's basketball action, preview what we have going on tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun on today's episode of Running Point. Let's get into, while we wait for our guest, let's get into some previews and then some recaps of last night's action and see what happened on the network and in the area last night. We'll start with, of course, the first final that was reported in. We go all the way down into Beaver Local, and they got the win 50-46 over Minerva. Beavers better than the Lions on a Monday night. Big win for Beaver Local. They're getting some momentum heading down the stretch. We will also see Orange got the boys' victory. Remember, the CVC a little bit different, so they get the victory on a Monday, 71-60, your final score there. Newton Falls gets the win over Campbell Memorial. That was Coach Baker's 300th career victory for Newton Falls, as they were able to win 39-20. We will pause our previews and get to our guest, and then pause our recaps and get to our guest, and then be back with more scores and highlights from the last night's game. Cami Rome joins the show. Cami, how we doing today? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? You're a little choppy. Welcome to live webcasting.
I can't hear you.
All right, we'll get Cami straightened out and try to fix that as we go along. Probably has some connection issues, but as we continue into the scores from last night, once again, Newton Falls 39-20. It was Coach Baker's 300th career victory as a part of the Newton Falls program. What I'm going to do, and even though it's right off the top of the show, I'm going to hit a commercial and try to figure out what's going on Cami's side. Be right back.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, Whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget, I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
All right, welcome back. Let's see if we can hear Cammy now. Cammy, you there now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know what's.
All right, we'll continue trying with that as we go along. But we do not come unprepared for Running Point. We will continue with the previews as we try to get Cammy Rome squared away, and if we can get her off air and have her be played on another date. But we will go back to Newton Falls. Remember, they won 39-20. It was Coach Mark Baker's 300th career victory at the helm of Newton Falls. He's been doing it for a long time. What a week it is for Newton Falls basketball. You see Coach Roy Simbach get his 500th win last week. Coach Baker right behind him with 300 last night. Newton Falls was able to go to Camel and get the win. The final score 39-20. Natalie Albert led the Tigers offense with 11 points. Lily Sate had 6 points for the Tigers. Red Devils were led by an impressive performance by Angelise Diaz. We heard her name a lot during the volleyball season for Camel. She had 12 points. That was a game high. Wasn't enough to get the win for Camel, though. Now Newton Falls looks forward to an interesting tournament game. You know, they're the 10 seed in the Division 4 tournament. They will have a home game, but it's a home game. See, I'm not sure what they're honestly what they're planning to do, because the OHSA site still has Newton Falls as the host site. You go into their bracket, you hit site info, it says Newton Falls, but I know the Tigers haven't been able to play at home since December. So that game, might be at Lordstown. It might be where Lordstown is, where Newton Falls has been playing their home games. It might be at McDonald, or it might be at Newton Falls. I'm not entirely sure on that, but we will get it squared away before then. They have over a week to figure it out. That game will be on Wednesday, February 15th, against McDonald. They are the host team. They are the host seed. They are the higher seed. It'll be 10-seeded Newton Falls against against 13th seeded McDonald. Camel also has their tournament game next on their slate. They will travel to Garfield on the 15th to open their season. Garfield, the 2 seed in Division 3. So Division 3, Camel. Division 4, Newton Falls. Let's go over to some more scores that came in last night. We saw Wellsville get the win on the girls' side, 44-40. This was a part of a boys-girls doubleheader. And the boys also were able to get the win. This one for Wellsville on the boys' side clinched the EOAC, and they got the win by a final score of, hold on, I'm getting it. 67-42 was the final score of the Wellsville Valley Christian boys game. So a big night for the Tigers as they get the doubleheader sweep, and a big win for the boys as they stay in control of the EOAC. Some more scores for you, as Poland was able to get the win last night, 60-26 over Lakeview. I was there, and it was senior night for the Bulldogs. They honored their 5 seniors, Brooke Rowe, Ava Nicoludis, Katie McDonald, Sarah Forsyth, and Ariana Daniels all were honored before the game, and they all were in the starting 5. So it was the starting 5 of seniors. It was really cool to see, because this is not the rotation that Coach Blanche usually uses. So you don't usually see all 5 seniors on the floor at once, and then when they got subbed out, obviously that rotation was a little bit different too, because you had some players that were normally in the starting lineup, they would be rotating in with some of the bench players. So it was really fun to see Poland kind of, play around with some lineups here a little bit on senior night and still succeed really, really well. Their offense actually really got moving in that second rotation with when the seniors came out and the couple of the non-senior starters and a couple of the bench players came in, really sparked that offense. It was a slow start for Poland as they actually trailed Lakeview 11-10 early in this first quarter. Actually, a good way through the first quarter, they trailed 11-10. But then Poland was able to put on, I believe the run went to 14-0 before Lakeview was able to score again. They took the 24-11 lead, and their second rotation was a big part of that. And then their seniors came in, and every senior had a great day. Brooke Rowe, which is one of the best stories in their senior class, coming back from 3 separate knee injuries to be on the floor and healthy her senior year. She was able to lead them with 12 points. So it was a big night for her. Coach Blanche was really excited about that. She's been through a lot. He knows that as a coach. In his post-game interview, he kind of, he couldn't be more happy that it was Brooke Rowe that got the player of the game and got the big night and was able to put the stats up. He knows that, stats aren't everything. Everyone in that program understands that they're not out there for stats. But it's nice when a player who has put in that kind of work gets kind of the dues that they deserve, and they're able to kind of get that time in the limelight. And even though it has been made clear and it is made very apparent that the Bulldogs aren't a program that really needs that or hinges on that or looks for that, it's still kind of nice when the players that have earned it get it. So Poland gets to win 60-26. Senior night was a big storyline, obviously honoring those 5 big storyline. But the biggest storyline, 5 seniors and also 5th straight NE8 championship for Poland. They have only lost 3 games in the league since the league started, and in the last 5 seasons, I think they're 41-3. If I'm not mistaken, is the final league record through 41 would be 4 seasons. So you add 14 to that. You add 13. 14 to that. That'd be 55. So 55-3 in 4 seasons of league play of the NE8. That's something special. That's something really cool to kind of put on for Poland. And a lot of people coming into this season, they heard the noise. They heard you lost Abby Farber, you lost Connie Kugris, you lost a lot of your offense, you lost a lot of good leaders. How are you going to come back from that? Like, what's this team have to offer? You finally lost your last weapon. Poland can't be good anymore, right? That's what they heard all off season. This team, it's time for Poland to go down, right? It's time for Struthers. Struthers is making a run. Gerard's making a run. Both those programs took big steps up from last year. You look at last year compared to this year, both those programs took big steps. Gerard is actually able to get Poland, so they beat Poland, the one NE8 loss. Struthers took Poland to 1 point. Everyone just waiting for Poland to slip up a little bit, and it never happened. They were able to get the win. They were able to secure the NE8 championship. The big game obviously was last week in the field house when they were able to beat Struthers. That was really for NE8 supremacy. It was on the line. They both came into that game with just 1 loss in the NE8, and Poland just big moments weren't too big for them. The lights weren't too bright, and in that game they won, and they took care of business against Lakeview. They have 2 tournament tune-ups before they start their district run. They will play Canfield on Thursday at home. That's one of their losses this year. Canfield beat them in Canfield earlier this season. Canfield's only loss is to Salem. Both teams have lost to Salem. So it's going to be a really interesting one. Talking to Coach Blanche about it, Canfield shot 31 threes against Poland in the first matchup. 31 threes, and that's not anywhere close to new with Canfield. I think everyone that plays them understands that they are a team that loves to shoot the ball. They have multiple shooters on the court that can all hurt you at any given time, at any given day. They're all confident shooters, and they are going to come into Poland. They're going to try to shoot the lights out. And Poland's hoping that they can make some adjustments. Coach Blanche was talking to me about, the last game, and he said he felt they did a good job on their main scorers. Abby McElroy, Kate Sully, Treveri, none of them really went off. But then, of course, Canfield has 5 or 6 scorers that can all do it. So they found some success with Carly Harmon, I believe, in that Poland game that scored 24 points for Canfield. So it's really hard to keep every player down. So Coach Blanche still, I think, as a coach, kind of believes that you shut the main ones down first. You try to not let McElroy, win the game for him. You try to not let Sully get on the drive. And then if one of those secondary scorers goes off again, tip of the hat to Canfield again, right? Because you can't let the superstars win. You can't let the ones that are leading the team in scoring come into your house and lead them in scoring. That's what Poland's defense is always very keen on. They never like to let the other team's leading scorer succeed. They're not a team, we've talked about this in basketball throughout the season. Some coaches like to say, okay, you're going to go get your points. You're good. We're not going to let any of your teammates score and help you. Poland's they're kind of prideful on defense. They don't want that, oh, you're going to score. It's okay. We'll just keep your teammates down and we'll let you go. You can go off for 20 if you want to, but we're still going to win because we're going to keep everybody else down. Poland's like, we're going to keep everybody down. I can only remember a couple of players that score their season average, high season average against Poland consistently. Izzy Lamparty was one of them for South Range, and in their rivalry between those two, Izzy and Jackie, Izzy Lamparty, Jackie Grisdale, both kind of coming out in the same time. That was one player that kind of could score. And then, I remember the one time Coach Blanche did have that game plan of, okay, I'm not saying let the player score, but kind of focus completely on making sure that they have no help. And if they're going to score, it's going to be all that they get. Was Dayton Harris when they played Ursuline in a couple of district games back to back. It was pretty much, you're not gonna stop Dayton Harris. You're not gonna stop her. You can slow her down maybe, but she's going to get 15, 18 points. It's going to happen. She was that good. Obviously, she's playing Power 5 basketball right now, and she's playing in Pitt, doing a really good job down there. So you're not going to, it was a generational talent. You weren't going to stop her. So I think in that particular game, that's the only time I've seen Poland have the mindset that I was talking about, where, okay, she's going to score. Let's make sure that her teammates don't get in to help her out. Let's shut down the supporting cast. Let her go off if she wants to. She's not going to have any help, and that was kind of the mindset when Poland would play Ursuline a couple of years in a row in the district tournament. Both of them were Poland wins. So, and then both of them, if my memory serves right, Dayton Harris had a really good game statistically, but Poland did what they set out to do. They didn't let any of her supporting cast really get off. And Dayton Harris had a really good supporting cast, especially I remember Destiny Goodnight. I mean, that was a heck of a player, a heck of a tandem, 1-2 punch for Ursuline. And back in the day, those were good matchups. But that's the only time I've ever seen Poland's defense kind of I don't want to say let. I hate this word let the team score. Let the player score. They would be not frustrated. I guess you would be the main course. They wouldn't be let down if Dayton Harris scored 26 on them, because they kind of focused on making sure the help wasn't there. So we'll go into some other scores, but Poland wins the 88 for the 5th straight year, 60-26. Kind of got off on a tangent talking about the past. I get nostalgic during senior night times and during the end of basketball seasons about some of the past seasons that we've covered these seniors, because now Ysn's old enough that we've covered these seniors this year, every senior class, especially for the teams that have been with us for a while. We've covered them throughout their whole career, and it's kind of one of those, it makes you nostalgic. It really does when you pour a lot of energy into these programs. Canfield, who we talked about, they got the win over Louisville last night. 31-36 was the final score. I think we might try to get Cammie back on. Let's see if this works. Cammie, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
You're good. We got you. Welcome on to the show. We're so happy to have you aboard.
Thank you. Yeah, I was in my locker room, but our Wi-Fi down there is really bad, so I just
Hey,
moved out to my car.
if the car works better, then we'll have
I'm
the
so
player
sorry.
profile in your car. It's all
Yeah.
good. Cammy, once again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
SWATzilla is your nickname on
Yeah.
YSN. We love it. So that's the first question. Like back, it's been your nickname now for a while. When you first heard
Mhm.
it, and you first kind of realized that it was gonna stick, what were some of your thoughts about being called SWATzilla?
I mean, honestly, not till my junior year, I would say. I don't think you guys started calling me that till my junior year. I loved it. I love that stuck. My mom even made shirts and everyone loves it. So yeah.
Yes, that was gonna be my next question. I heard that there are T-shirts
Yep, there
in the
sure are.
universe. There's SWATzilla apparel. I mean, did you ever imagine as a freshman and a sophomore that you were gonna have not just like a Salem basketball shirts, but you were gonna have like a your own apparel, your own
Yeah.
store?
Yeah. Yeah. All credits to you guys for making up the name. My mom just went out and made shirts and everyone loves it now.
Hey, credit to you for blocking enough shots that we're able to get the name out there. So back into some seriousness though. Here you come into this final year of basketball, and a lot of people kind of had their own opinions on Salem coming into this year. You guys lost a big senior class, a lot of big leaders. How much responsibility did you put on yourself this year to kind of step into that role and not let this program take a step back?
Yeah, I mean, of course, losing 5 seniors last year, we knew that our seniors this year would have to step up to major roles, and even our juniors this year really stepped up and helped their team. And I knew that coming from last year, I had to score more and be more of an offensive threat than I was last year. So that's what I've been working on the most.
Yeah, I talked with Riley last week, and one of the questions I asked her was, when those seniors left, how much of their legacy and their footprints do you feel on this team, even though they're not playing with you guys anymore?
Yeah. I mean, that those seniors brought all the energy, and that's what took us so far last year. Our team was so close. We had all the chemistry, and our coach really emphasized energy last year. And coming from that last year really helped this year with carrying over all the energy and always making sure we're there to support our teammates. And that's what last year's seniors really did for us.
Okay, you said it. You had to become a more offensive threat this season, and you knew it. So, what were some of the things that you worked on in the off season in the summer to really lock that down and get confidence on the offensive side?
Like over AAU, I tried to use my size more and shoot perimeter shots more and use my size to my advantage. And I tried to work on finishes and just anything offensively that can help my team.
Now we see a lot of young shot blockers that have that shot blocking mentality lose it a little bit when they get more into the offensive game. You
Yeah.
haven't lost your shot blocking ability at all. So how have you kept the defensive mindset that you had last year, but also, like you said, balance that offensive threat that you are now?
I mean, defense to me is the most important thing on basketball court. As My dad always preached to me when I was growing up that defense wins championships, and I always take that into consideration whenever I step out on basketball court. Offense, offensively, I've started to work more on that, but it's always just been defensive is key.
It seems like that's the mindset of this whole program. Last year, you guys set a record for defense and points average per game. This year, I was talking to Coach Hamilton, and I was telling her it doesn't feel like you're that level of defense. But she reminded me that you're playing actually statistically better defense than you were last year. Does it feel this year though like you're not like it's not as important, not as I don't want to say important. It's not as big of a factor to the wins because last year there were a lot of games where you really, if you didn't play that good at defense, you weren't winning. But this year you're scoring 50 a game and you're able to um, you know make that cushion with your offense a little bit more than last year.
Yeah, this year, like with the defensive legacy that our seniors left last year, we really carried that over this year, but this year I feel like we contribute both offensively and defensively on the court.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really feel like defense is the most important thing on the court this year. So yeah, often like our offense has picked up a lot from last year, so that's what helps us the most.
Last year you got to the regional finals. You were that one step away from state. How hungry does getting that close and not making it make this team to get back there this year?
Yeah, we were last year after losing in the regional finals, it really made us want more like it did the year before. The year before last year, we lost in the district finals, and then making it to the regional finals really is going to push us this year.
When you think about this tournament, I know you got a couple of games left before you start your tournament run, but a lot of people in the area were kind of surprised that you guys decided to go after Canfield as the 1 and the 2. Thought that you might want to get your own district, but you guys went right after Canfield. Obviously, you've played them a lot. How does that kind of get you excited knowing that you're going right after the 1 seed in the district and you're not kind of taking the quote unquote easy way into a district championship?
I'm very excited because last year a lot of people said we took the easy way out, and that's why we made it so far. But this year we're battling the number 1 seed for a district championship, and I'm excited because I grew up playing AAU with a whole bunch of their seniors on Canfield, so I'm excited to play them, get the chance to play them one last time possibly, and I'm just excited to be able to work for another district championship.
Is that a little chip on your shoulder when you heard last year all the time people say, "Oh, you took the easy way out. That's the only
Yes.
reason you got." Is that one of the chips that you put on your shoulder this year?
Yeah, a lot of people were saying last year that since Marlington and West Branch saw each other in the district final, we took the easy way out, but still didn't affect us. We made it to the regional finals.
You know, you've been dominating most of the teams that you've played this year. Um, how do you guys stay motivated in that kind of season where you don't have a lot of teams that are beating you, so you don't have a lot of that kind of motivation, and there's obviously not a lot of trash talking because a lot of teams really respect you guys. How do you guys stay motivated throughout the whole season in a season like this where there is so much success?
I mean, we know anyone can beat anybody at any time. Like, it's just whoever shows up. So our coach always preaches to us that you can always be better than how you perform that day. So
Let's talk about Coach Hamilton Phillips and what he has brought to this program. Obviously, she's been with the basketball program for a while, but now the head coach for the last couple of years. What has he brought to this program? What has he brought to you as a basketball player?
she's really changed the whole program. She's made him positively changed it in many ways. Personally, she has brought out more confidence in myself, and defensively and offensively, I've been more confident in myself to shoot the ball and score. And she also allows us to create more energy and team chemistry than what we've had before.
And you brought up AAU before. You get to play AAU for Coach Bailey, so you see him all the time.
Yeah.
Talk about him and what he brings to your game, not just at the Salem, but also in the AAU season as well.
He's the best coach because he's always in your corner. He'll always be on your side. He'll always be there to support you. He always wants what's best for you, and it's just amazing to have him in both the spring and the winter.
Are there any differences at all between him in AAU season and him in high school season?
He has more of a lead role in AAU season because he's the head coach. But off season, he always wants best for all of our girls, and just make sure that we feel comfortable in whatever we're doing.
That team you guys play on is loaded with talent. You're able to play with a lot of good basketball players. You're able to play against a lot of good basketball players. How much does that help you build like the confidence that we've been talking about and help you kind of just build your game playing with such incredible talent and also playing against a lot of incredible talent as well?
Yeah, always practicing it better. It makes me better whenever I go against Abby and Riley, having two of the best guards in the area. It really makes you better as a player and as a teammate. Our team just always battles against each other, and we know at the end of the day when we step off the court, we're teammates.
How much do you keep tabs on your Laker teammates that aren't on your team?
Like, do I watch?
Yeah,
Wait,
throughout the season, like do you know how all these girls are doing and keeping track of what their teams are doing? Because you have a lot of teammates that are having pretty successful seasons.
yeah, my dad and Coach Bailey actually just went to watch my one friend from Springfield, Maddie Lesnick. Her team won their league last night, and so they went to go watch. I unfortunately couldn't go because I was not feeling the best. So
That's not good. I hope you're feeling
yeah.
better today. Um, I'm gonna put you on the spot because I know you have a lot of good friends on that team. So who's your best friend that doesn't wear a Salem uniform?
Oh boy. Um, from the Lakers team.
It could be from the Lakers team. It could be from it could be someone else. It could be someone else that plays basketball that doesn't wear Salem.
Oh wow. Honestly, yeah, I would probably say Maddie.
If you guys ever got the chance to play each other, Salem versus Springfield, what would there be trash talk? Would there be some nudging between the games? What would that be like?
No, I mean, we wouldn't trash talk. We would just go out there and have fun with each other. We play very similarly, so.
When you think about your memories at Salem and some of the favorite memories you've been able to build, what kind of things come to mind for you?
Oh boy, all of the Sherrodsville adventures and the Christmas party activities that we had. We actually just did our senior like favorite memory, and my favorite memory was on Lauren Barton. Her birthday was during Sherrodsville, so we had a mustache game where we all played in mustaches for our birthday.
All right, all 4 seasons, what's been your favorite team bonding exercise that you guys have done throughout your career?
I would probably have to say this summer we went out on my coach's lake and we did like what's it called? Tubing. Yeah, we went tubing and we had like we went on jet skis and everything. It was very fun.
With those kind of atmospheres, you obviously get to know your teammates a lot better and you get to know them as people, not just as players. If you had to pick one teammate that you've gotten to know the most over the stretch of your career, who do you think you've gotten to know the most from basketball?
Probably Lauren Barton, yeah, or Riley Hutton. I've always played like with the younger girls have always played on my team growing up, so I've been very close with the juniors and sophomores.
All right, so we were talking to a basketball player earlier, and it brought up a good question. I want to ask you it too, because obviously the guys get cheerleaders and the girls don't. So if you got to pick some of the guys players on the Salem boys basketball team that you think would make good cheerleaders on the girls basketball games, who are you picking to be dressing up and being a cheerleader for you guys?
Oh boy, there's this one kid. He's a freshman. He supports us. He's one of our main supporters. His name's Deontay. He plays on the freshman of our JV team for Salem. He always shows up to our practices and like sometimes he even does drills with us. So probably him.
You guys get such great support. Cheerleaders are not for this girls basketball team. When you're getting ready for a game and you see that crowd filling up, what does that do for this team?
I mean, it makes me feel at home whenever I go out and I see the whole crowd there to support me and my team. So, the support from our community and our parents and our families just means so much to all of us.
When you're looking into the crowd before a game, is there one specific person you look for first that you want to find where they are?
Probably my mom and dad. I look for them every game. So,
Now, do they have the same spot or do they move around? Like, can you look at this spot and say, I know mom and dad are going to be there?
well, for home games, my mom sits in the same spot and my dad sits a couple rows up because he has to videotape and scream
He's got to be
with all the
separated
other
a little
dads.
bit. Let's talk about your dad. Obviously, he's such a vocal supporter of not just yourself, YSN, and the whole Salem kind of team. What's that dynamic been like? He records your games, he makes your highlights, he makes sure that your name is always out there. What's it been like going through this journey with him?
I mean, he's taught me everything I know since I was first playing basketball, and he's taught half the girls that I play with nowadays. So it just means a lot for him to support me through everything that I do. And even when I come home, he's always just like, "You can do this better. You did really good doing this or something." And he sends me all my videos, and he sends my friends their like videos when they do something good as well. So
Correct me if I'm wrong. He's just coming off a birthday too.
yeah, his birthday was Sunday.
1 year older for Mr. Rome.
Yeah.
We thank him for all the support of us and all the support of you.
hmm
Before we let you go, I want to talk about your future and what you plan to do after high school. It's that time of
Oh
year we have to
God, yeah,
start thinking about what you're going to do after high school. We don't
yeah.
want to see you go, but it has to happen. So, what do you have in your future plans?
I'm undecided where I want to go to college yet, but I'm making that decision very soon.
Do you have a major that you want to be, or a career path you want to go into?
Currently, right now, I'm thinking pre-med as my path.
Okay, so you haven't made a decision on a college yet, but give us a little bit of a taste of, like, are you trying to travel? Are you trying to stay close to home? Are you trying to, you know,
Well, honestly, I didn't want to go that far. I was thinking like a hour, 2 hours away.
all right,
Is
that narrows it down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
When you do decide what college you're going to go for, I hope you make it a YSN exclusive and you come on and you tell us where you're going.
Will do. I will.
Awesome. Cammy, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout out your support system, all the people that are backing you and all the people that show up for you every single day.
Yeah, I just want to thank all my friends and families in the community. They're such a huge factor in our success this year. And just all of the people who watch online.
Cammy, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you finding a spot where we could do this. And I hope you have a good rest of the day, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Cammy Rome from Salem, one of their great leaders that is on that team. And man, Salem is having a heck of a basketball season. They are number 2 in the YSN top 25 power rankings. We've had an absolute blast covering them and covering Cammy, Swatzilla, as we love calling her. And what a great conversation with what a great leader. And I think the biggest takeaway of that, and this is kind of a TED talk for all the girls that, or the guys, or athletes, girls, guys, athletes that are kind of in the summer, in the preseason, and they're knowing that they're going to have to take a next step role. Like Cammy talked about, knowing she's going to have to be more of an offensive threat, knowing she's going to have to be, more of a leader, step into a leadership role. Recognize that early, and then ask your coaches, ask your teammates questions. What can I do to get better at this? You're not going to do it by yourself. What can I do to be a better leader? What do you guys think? Talking to your teammates, what do you guys think made the seniors before such good leaders? What can I do to kind of fill those shoes? Talk to your coaches like, Cammy, what can I do to become a better offensive threat? And then take that coaching, take that advice, and whatever it is, just run with it. Because I think a lot of kids, they're so stuck in what they're doing, and they're I'm a good shot blocker, I'm a good shot blocker, I'm a good shot blocker, just using Cammy for example. A lot of kids would have taken the mindset of like, do I really want to like further develop my game and lose that and lose what makes me a shot blocker? And change is difficult, and accepting the change and accepting the next step and accepting the growth can be difficult for young athletes, because you always want to, fall into that trap of settling for good, right? Oh, I'm good at this. I'm really good at this. And then you don't set the bar the next time you make a goal. And Cammy is constantly setting the next bar. So are a lot of athletes setting the next bar of what your next goal is going to be. And you have to constantly just raise that bar. Next goal, make them achievable goals that you think you can fairly get. Be honest with yourself. I can achieve this goal, but it's also going to push me. When you're setting goals, I think the two mistakes people make are, you set them a little bit too low. It's an easy goal that you're going to get to. You're making yourself feel good a little bit. And then the other mistake is on the opposite side of the spectrum, where you make a goal that, if you're honest with yourself, isn't realistic at that point in time. If Cammy came on and said, I want to be a girl that averages 25 points per game, and I want to, be able to hit a shot from anywhere on the floor whenever I want to in one summer of development, like I want to do that by this year, that wouldn't be a realistic goal, right? Like she wouldn't have been able to go from where she was last year to, scoring so much that she's going to get a Power 5 offer. It's that those aren't the realistic goals. You got to find somewhere in that sweet spot where it's a obtainable goal that really pushes you, but you can make it. And that's what makes made Cammy's summer and this season really fun to watch. Is you can tell that she set obtainable goals for herself in the preseason. She had a great coaching staff that helped her meet those goals. And now you watch her play this year compared to last year, and you go, oh, she went from good to great. Like she took that next step. And that's what makes athletes like that super, super special to a program, because all the young players are going to see her doing that, and they're going to do it too. That's what I talked about with her and with Riley Hutton last week, I wanted to make sure that they were able to talk about the legacy that the seniors of last year left in the program, because I believe that senior class was really good at that and really good at other things to lead this team. And now you're seeing the younger girls that are coming into leadership roles like Riley Hutton, like Cami Rome, come into that and just kind of fall into what they've already been taught, what they've been able to see for the last 4 years when those seniors were going up into the program, and then they leave it. And then that's how programs get sustainability, because you have continual players that buy into what the leaders of their youth were teaching them. And if it continues and you don't have any weak links in the chain that stop it and say, no, that's just too hard, that kind of leadership is too hard, I'm not going to do it. As long as you don't have any kinks in that chain, then you're gonna sustain the program. It might not be a 20-win season every year, but the competitiveness and the willing to succeed and the drive to succeed is always going to be in that Salem program. It's been in there for a long time. They've always been a very good basketball team that is in the conversation of districts. But the last couple of years, because of, I believe it's because of the seniors that graduated last year, and now because of the players that are taking that next step after they graduated, the Salem team went from we're going to be in the conversation in districts to we're in the conversations in regionals. Like we are a very good contender to go and win a regional championship and get to Dayton. And the step between that and that just takes leadership, and that's what they've had. We've seen a couple of teams in other sports take that step where they were knocking on the door of maybe a regional, knocking on the door of a regional championship, and then all of a sudden they get a class of seniors that raises their program up a little notch, and they go from knocking on the door to regionals to knocking on the door to state, knocking on the door to a regional final. So Salem's there. I think Salem's there. They're in a really tough district. Cami wasn't shy about it. Like, we're not taking the easy way out this year. Easy way. I don't think last year's district was necessarily easy. Their regional definitely wasn't easy. But they're not taking it this year. They're going right after the 1 seed, and it's going to only Canfield or Salem can come out of that district. And they're both really good basketball teams. So that's the reality of tournament time, right? Only one good team can come out of a district, even if there are multiple good teams inside of it. It's going to be fun. Salem has 2 tune-ups before that. Thursday, don't miss it. Massillon Jackson's coming to town, and Massillon Jackson is a very, very good Division I girls basketball team. Went to state last year. They have a girl that is going to Wisconsin to play basketball. She'll be featured for the Polar Bears. Big game for Salem on Thursday, and then they play Notre Dame Cathedral Latin on Saturday as well. So a couple of tune-ups for the Quakers before they get ready for tournament play, which will be fun to watch. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to regroup. We're going to get to the other finals from last night real quick, and then we will also preview the night that is going to happen tonight on the network. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Locally owned and operated, Sheely's relaxed shopping experience means browsing and lounging is always encouraged.
Find Flex Deal and more at Sheely's Furniture and Appliance, because the best things in life happen at home.
How lucky are we to have not one, but 2 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring golf instruction by PGA professionals, a state-of-the-art practice range, a PGA of America recognized pro shop, kids programs, and a relaxing grill room for a memorable golf experience. For more information or to schedule a tee time, visit millcreekmetroparks.org.
Fall is in the air. The kids are back to school, crowds are cheering for the home team, and Myers Family Insurance is prepped for another crazy Medicare season. Every year there's changes, some big, some small, so it's important to have a conversation to make sure your plan is going to meet your expectations for the coming year. Give our team a call today to schedule your annual review.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance or visit us on the web. Check us out online at MyersFamilyINS.com.
Going from mindful to mindful sometimes requires a helping, healing hand. Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness offers a continuum of mental health and wellness care. At Insight, we're changing the way you receive counseling and wellness services with experienced licensed clinicians and expertly trained wellness staff. With 4 locations in Mahoning and Columbiana County, along with telehealth services, Insight offers clients quick access to care when they need it. Transform your mental health and wellness at Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you. Because of those technical difficulties with Cami Rome, we had to kind of break up our recap of last night, but we will truck on. And we left off with Canfield winning over Louisville 51-36 last night. We go into Liberty. Congratulations to Aaliyah Foster for getting 1,000 career points, and they needed every single bit of it as they're able to hold off Champion, but barely. 55-53, the final score there. Girard got a big win over Niles as they were able to truck the Dragons. Final score there, 60-23. CH Triplet and Allison Durkin both continue to score pretty well for Girard. They were both in double figures for the Indians. Springfield wins, as Cami Rome kind of said, gave us our little segue. Springfield gets their league championship under wraps. They were able to win over Waterloo. They complete the MVA season undefeated, 45-38. The final score for the Tigers there. Let's get into some stats from that game real quick, as it was J.C. Mullen led the way with 11, and Mariana Toscano had 10. So a balanced scoring offense for the Tigers. Pretty balanced when you're able to score 45 points and your leading scorer has 11. That tells you that a lot of people contributed little bits of points here and there. So 11 and 10, 2 players in double figures for Springfield. Waterloo was led by Kara English with a game-high 15. Rose Couch had 11 points for the Vikings. Springfield back in action Thursday as they hit the road for a non-conference game against LeBray. So that'll be fun for Springfield as they get to go into the crosshairs of the MVAC grade tier and test themselves against LeBray. West Branch got the win inside the EBC with a 53-41 win over Carrollton. West Branch is a dangerous team. I'm telling you, they're starting to get healthy. They're starting to click. Sophia Gregory back on the floor. We've talked about it again and again and again. I hate to beat a dead horse, but they're a dangerous 11 seed in the Division II tournament. That's for sure. Their record doesn't really speak to where they are now. Edgewood got another victory on the night. They went to Pymatuning Valley and won 69-45. Casey Kanicki and Katie McCullister both impressed in double figures. Marlington was able to beat up Howland last night on the road, 73-39, the final score there from the Dukes. United beat Lisbon 63-13. They end the EOAC season undefeated to the Eagles. Grand Valley beat Wyndham 45-39, a close one there. We saw Garrettsville Garfield get revenge over Brookfield. Last time these two teams played, it was a Brookfield win. This time, not so fast. Garfield all over the Warriors, 58-42, final score there. And it was guess who for the G-men, Laura McCoy, scoring in dividends for them as she was able to lead the G-men with 23 points. Mandy Cardinal had a 9. Nora Trent had 8. And for the Warriors, they were led by Sophia Hook with 18. Kaylee Wellman had 18 as well. Kaylee Wellman another double-double on the night. She just averages double-doubles like it's her job. Very fun to watch. If you ever get a chance to watch Kaylee Wellman play basketball, it's a different thing. When you average a double-double, you know you're doing something right. Mineral Ridge was able to split the season series with Lowville. They win last night 38-34. They're putting together a couple of wins in a row, and they're looking good down the stretch of the season, which is what all coaches want. And Mineral Ridge, we don't talk about them a lot, but what a step in the right direction for their program. Remember, there's 2 wins last year. They beat 2 wins 4 games into the season. So they're definitely taking steps in the right direction. South Range celebrated senior night by beating Struthers 42-41. That's second place in the NE8 Struthers. I think South Range came into this game knowing that they let the game in the field house slip away a little bit, and they realized that they had everything it took to beat Struthers, and the extra energy that senior night gave them a solid boost into this game. They were led by Emma Cunningham with 16 points. Taylor McClish had 8. And then Chloe Nieder had 10 points for Struthers. 3 of those 10 points, though, came on a last-second buzzer beater way behind the arc. It made it 42-41. So it was kind of I don't want to say it was a meaningless shot, but it was one of those shots that, it wasn't going to affect the outcome of the game. So you could argue that the Raiders defense really held Chloe Nieder to 7 points in the parts of the game that quote unquote mattered. Then she got a 3 to get into double figures. It was an impressive 3 way back. It went in. 42-41 the final score there. South Range has some interesting non-conference games before they start tournament time. They will play at Western Reserve on Thursday, and then on Saturday they will go to Brookfield. Struthers has to wait for tournament time to wash this loss out of their mouth. They will host a pretty good Alliance team on Wednesday, February 15th. So Struthers, they have to lick their wounds for the next week and wait until Wednesday before they can get back to on the court. Boardman boys won 58-53 over East, a big win for them. McDonald girls won 56-16 over Sebring. We saw Hubbard get the win in the Battle of the Birds on the girls' side, 36-32 the final score there. Cheney boys got the win 72-25, a big strong win for Cheney. Second last score of the night, sorry. Hoban got the win in overtime, 51-45 over Green. Hoban had an 11-point lead. Green came back, tied up before the end of regulation, and then Hoban was able to outlast them in OT. Riley Bennett hit a big 3 out of the gates of overtime, set the tone in the last period. Boardman girls won over Notre Dame Cathedral Latin 53-37. That is the final score of the night that came in. It came in a little late, so 53-37. Excuse me. That came out of nowhere, but 53-37. Boardman girls get the win. So let's go into the games that are happening tonight on Tuesday. Oops, I went too far. Tuesday, February, what's today? The 7th? Yeah, 7th. We will start at 6 p.m. Campbell Memorial traveling to Liberty. Alec Caberna will be on the call there. Cardinal Mooney will go to Cheney at 7. Jamie Thompson has you covered there. Garfield will be hosting Crestview. It'll be the school's broadcast team with you on that one at 7 o'clock. Poland hosting Girard. Once again, the school's broadcast team will have you covered. Poland coming off the big win over South Range. They'll try to take that momentum into facing the league-leading Indians. Green travels to Hoban, as we just saw that matchup on the girls' side on one end at Green. Now Hoban hosts Green on the boys' side. Ty Bartell making the trip to Akron for that one at 7 o'clock. Heartland Christian goes to Salem, and it'll be Gio Citriglia on the call there. Hubbard goes to South Range inside the Thriller Dome. I'll be in for that one at 7 o'clock. We have Middle Ridge at Lowville. Eric Hughes on the call there. Niles goes to Lakeview. Sam, our Lakeview buddy, will have us covered with that one. Sebring goes to McDonald tonight. Matt Marr will be on the call with Jordan. Steubenville Central Catholic will travel to Wellsville. Coy on the call there. Rick Daly will be propped up in Lisbon as they host United at 7 o'clock. Warren JFK will travel to Howland tonight. Noah Ricks on the call there. And then last game on the network tonight, Waterloo will be at Springfield. Our other resident Noah and Noah Doty will be on the call for that one inside the jungle. Want to remind everybody that East Palestine versus Columbiana in Columbiana tonight has been canceled. That is the only game tonight that is canceled as of now. Some games that are happening that won't be featured on the network, unfortunately. Brookfield will be at Newton Falls. Champion travels to LeBray. West Branch will be hosting Kenmore Garfield. Struthers goes to Jefferson. Western Reserve will be at Jackson Milton. That's a trophy game, so there's a lot on the line there. And then Youngstown East will go to Ursuline. All those tip-offs starting at 7 o'clock. And you can go out and support your local athletes there. So that'll do it for what's on the network tonight. Head over to ysnlive.com/live to find the complete schedule and find the links to those games. Power Hour makes its return as DJ is back from Las Vegas. It'll be on from 3 to 4 later on today, and I'm sure he'll have a lot of stories from Vegas, but also kind of an update on East Palestine and all the stuff that's going on down there. DJ very close to that situation. Talked about it yesterday. Obviously, he's a East Palestine resident, East Palestine graduate, and RHQ is right in the smack dab middle of East Palestine. So it'll be good to hear from him after what had to be kind of a long, stressful weekend, trying to keep track of everything that's going on here in his home, but also, putting in work in Las Vegas. They did a lot of flag football games over the weekend. So good to hear him, but it'll be good to see him back on the Power Hour from 3 to 4 later on today. So check that out. I'm going to head out. And we'll be back with Running Point tomorrow, Wednesday, Wrestling Wednesdays with Gary Altizer tomorrow from 1 to 2. Our special guest is going to be Quentin Burns from Liberty, who just won Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley. So we'll talk with that senior from the Leopards, and we'll have some fun with Gary and Wrestling Wednesday tomorrow from 1 to 2. Check us out then. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in to